Is my screen visible to all of you? Okay, all right. So guys, today we are going to make a guitar. Okay, so I downloaded an image and we'll see how to model this guitar. Okay, so let us see how to model it. So any modeling, you are doing any modeling, okay? There can be 4 steps. Remember, any modeling. I'm talking about modeling. I'm not talking about Maya, any tools, anything like that. I'm talking about modeling. Any modeling, you should have 4 steps. If you want, you can write it down. Any kind of modeling. Okay, so first option is basic primitive. First stage is basic primitive. All of you just write it down. Basic primitive. Second stage is basic blocking. Basic blocking. Second stage is basic blocking. Third stage is smoothing. Third stage is smoothing. And fourth stage is detailing. Detailing or anatomy. Detailing or anatomy. Fourth stage. Okay. Now let me explain all these 4 steps of modeling. If you are going through these 4 steps, you can model anything. Okay. So just try to understand these 4 stages of modeling. First of all, this is basically nowhere these steps are written. I personally experienced these 4 steps, so I have made it like that. This is my modeling process. So first stage is basic primitive. So you need to understand which primitive you should use for this particular model. So you are looking at something, suppose uh, you are looking to a character and you feel this character can be done out of a cylinder easily than out of a cube. So your basic primitive will be a cylinder, not a cube. In some cases, suppose you are thinking, I should start the modeling out of sphere. So you are not using cube, but a sphere. Okay. So like that, you can decide your primitive. And definitely, if you are choosing the right kind of a primitive, your it will lessen your work. Okay. I guess you are getting my point. Why this stage is very important. Choosing the right kind of primitive to start with. So that is stage number 1. Stage number 2. Stage number 2 is basic blocking. This is the most important stage, I feel. The most important stage. If your blocking is correct, everything is correct. If your blocking is incorrect, so many other things will be incorrect. So definitely the third layer automatically will be incorrect. if your blocking is incorrect. And so far you know what blocking is. In hammer, we have seen what blocking is, right? Means out of the basic primitive, you are giving the shape of what you are going to make. And from a distance, it will look like suppose a human figure you are making. During human figure, I will show you how blocking is important. So when you will keep that blocking at a distance, it will look like a human figure is standing. So that is blocking. Creating the appearance, that is blocking. Okay, and it has to be very low poly. Blocking has to be very low poly. Remember this. Blocking has to be very low poly. If you have made the blocking very high poly, it is not anymore a blocking. So blocking has to be very low poly. Okay, so that was blocking. Now, third stage is smoothing. So the blocking you have done, now everything is looking cubic. You need to smooth it. So everything, the entire model, especially in the case of organic modeling, not inorganic modeling. In the case of organic modeling, everything you need to convert into a circle, like the human body. All the limbs are circular. Arms, legs, fingers, neck, all are circular. So everything you need to smooth and need to make it circular. Then coming to the fourth stage. So it was the smoothing, third stage. Now the fourth stage. Fourth stage is detailing. Now when smoothing is done, now go for detailing. So in the detailing, what we are going to do, if it is organic model, we need to add anatomy, and if it is something else, not organic, then we need to add detailing in this stage. So these are the four stages of modeling. If you are going through all these four stages, any model you just look at and think in terms of these four stages, you can do the modeling of that particular object. So anything you can model. Okay, guys, is that clear? Okay, all right, all right. Now let us check with this. So this is a guitar, and definitely you can see the bottom part. We need to model separately. The neck of it, we need to model separately. This is the entire part. The neck and the head, we need to model separately. And this part, the bridge, we need to model separately. This part, pick guard, we need to model separately. All these keys, okay, tuner keys, we need to model separately. So these many elements will be there. So that is the analysis of this particular model. All those areas will be separate. Okay. Now let us see how to model it. So definitely we are going to start with this body. So now I don't want to see all this small detailing. I want the overall proportion of a guitar. Okay. Means your observation has to be like that. First see the entire object when you are at the blocking stage. Now we will analyze this and we'll start doing the modeling. So the main body we are going to make. Okay. For this body, you people will tell me what kind of primitive should I use. Come on. Because the first stage is very important, basic primitive. You people will tell me what kind of a primitive should I use. Okay. So cube, circle, cube, sphere. Anything else? Cylinder. Okay. Anything else? Curve. Okay. Anything else? Okay. By the way, Shekhar, we are going to do the modeling out of polygon. Okay. So definitely we are not going to use curve. So I'm talking about polygonal primitives. Come on, guys, all of you. You 24 students are there total. Only this much answers I am getting. Okay, Q. Q. Okay. Come on, guys. More answers. Because this stage is very important. Until unless you are guessing it correctly, later on it can be problematic. Cylinder. Okay. Okay. Move on. Okay, guys. Rest of you guess the primitive. Mavresh cylinder. Devanand cylinder. Okay. Come on, guys. Once again, just check the shape. This is the shape. If I tell you to make it, what kind of uh, primitive you are going to keep? Come on, Amit cube. Okay, cube. Okay. Anything else, guys? Come on. Who else is remaining? Tanmay cylinder. Okay. Shakshi cylinder. Okay. Nikita cylinder. Okay. Astha cylinder. Okay. All right. We have got so many answers. What I can see, two primitives are you are guessing almost 50-50%. One is cube, one is cylinder. Okay, both are answers are 50-50%. Now let us check. When I see this, when I see this, I feel to start out of a cube. Okay, because this is almost cubic. I will give one loop over here. I will create the depression. Two loops, two loops, two loops, two loops. Done. Our blocking is done out of a cube. Absolutely fine. Now this is analysis to find out the primitive. Now you know what? When your blocking is done, The very next thing will be to create this hollow area. And in this area, you need a circle. That means what? Out of that cube, we'll extrude it and we'll convert everything into a circular shape. Definitely that can be done. So if people can do that. Okay. Now another way. Those who are talking about cylinders, I will create a cylindrical shape. First I will extrude it. I got the circular shape. Now convert it into this shape. In this case, what I feel, taking a cylinder will be much more beneficial than the cube. Because only because of this hollow part. Otherwise, cube is better. If the hole is not there, cube is better. Now you can tell me, sir, we can use a cube and then through Boolean we can get this shape. Definitely, you can get this shape. But the topology we are looking for, that kind of topology you are not going to get out of Boolean. Okay? So now both are correct. If you are using cube, that also possible. You will get exactly this shape. And if you are using cylinder, that is also fine. You are going to get this shape. Okay. Last time I used a cube, and this time let's use a cylinder. So I'm going to use a cylinder this time. Let us check. Last time I used a cube for this. Okay, guys. Am I clear? All of you understood what I'm talking about? Okay. All right. So both are correct. Both the ways you can create the same thing. So what I'll do over here, it is always a better way of working actually. Okay, all right. This shape we are going to create. For the chessboard also, I told you the same thing. You just open it right hand side and just looking at it, make your models. Okay, so let's take a cylinder. Purposefully, this time I took a cylinder because last time I made it out of a cube. Okay, and let's make the subdivision axis. Subdivision axis, let's say 12. Scale it up a little bit. Giving it a thickness. Now you know what? I'm going to the top view and I'm analyzing if with these many loops I'll be able to give this shape or not. I'm just analyzing it. And what I feel, these many loops are fine. Okay. So what can be done? Selecting this vertex. See now you have to be a little bit faster. So some shortcuts you need to know. And I want to select all these faces, isn't it? So selecting this vertex, holding control, right click, two faces. So all the faces are selected. So what's happening basically, whatever faces containing that particular vertex are selected. Okay, so I selected these faces and extruded. This is the reason I took a cylinder today, so that I can get a perfect circle. So I got a perfect circle. Now I think it could be a little bit bigger, isn't it? Now delete it. This was my intention. Now let's go to the top view. Now my job is to do the block in. The first stage we have crossed, basic primitive. Okay. Now whatever I am doing, this is the block in of it. Let's just check what I am doing. Don't you think it is becoming very easy now for us? Okay. All right. And now what I'm going to do, let's make it a little bigger. Okay. Maybe a little more. I'm extruding it. Why so? So that these rings I can create. So just to get those topology, I created that circle over there.
Sir,
Now selecting all the outer edges, all the outer edges. Yes,
सर
yes,
एक्सट्रूड में
Sagar.
आपने क्या सिलेक्ट किया?
Sorry.
सर फॉर एक्सट्रूड व्हाट यू सिलेक्टेड?
No, Sagar, I didn't get you. Please come once again.
सर फॉर एक्सट्रूड यू सिलेक्टेड जी सर्कल
The circle I extruded.
एजी
Then what, Sagar? Yeah, I extruded it by selecting the edges.
सर
Okay. Hmm. Guys, just remember one thing. You cannot select these edges and extrude. Cannot. Okay. But this is the last stage. This is the open edge. You can extend the surface from here. So from there, extrusion is allowed. Okay, previously also I told, isn't it? So just remember this. So now what I'm doing now, if I press 3, then what will happen? Just let me save this file. Okay, if I press 3 now, it is looking like this. Okay, so you can understand the edges should be sharp, isn't it? So double click, select all the edges. Definitely the edges you want to be sharp, and coming to bevel with 2, let's add bevel. All right, let us check what's happening. I'm getting a shape like this. Okay, now coming to the top view, and what I feel is it can come a little bit inside. See, the circle, I am getting a very correct circle. Okay, these two I feel can come a little bit downward. All right, it can go a little bit outer side. Okay, so far I'm keeping it like that. I'm missing actually uh, another vertex over here. The shape could be a little bit better, but it's okay. I'm keeping it for now like this. And another thing, I feel the previous position of this vertex was correct. It was better. This is better. All right. So when this much is fine, then what next I should do? I'm going to the mesh smooth. So now, uh, as we already analyzed, the individual objects will be separate objects, like separate model. We need to count it. So the body, a separate model, the necks, a separate model, because it is inorganic. So the treatment has to be like that. So I am moving towards my third stage. So I'm going to smooth it now. So in this case, direct smoothing is okay, but in organic model, manually you need to smooth it. So in this case, I'm smoothing it with one subdivision level, sorry, and apply. Okay, all right. Before that, I forgot to do something in this area. Okay, these are all triangles. I cannot keep it. So we already discussed about it. It has to be quartz, isn't it? So these are all quartz. Even these are all quartz. Okay. Only one thing I need to do. You know, all the distance we should maintain.
So,
See, now the topology is pretty clean. Yes.
ये ट्राइंगल्स को
Yes,
आपने
tell me.
में ट्राइंगल को आपने क्वाड्स में कैसे वो कन्वर्ट किया हो, एक बार बताओ ना, थोड़ा नेटवर्क लैग हुआ था.
Actually, you asked at the very correct time so that I can undo it. So, this is a pentagon, this is a pentagon. These all are pentagons, right? Either from here to here you split and from here to here you split. You will get quads or you split like this. That is also fine. Both the ways it is okay.
सब
So
पहले
here what I am doing,
ट्राइंगल्स थे ना
I
पहले.
deleted. I deleted the edges.
ओके.
So this edge, I deleted all the edges. Only I kept this cross loop. These cross loops I just kept. The rest of the edges I deleted. Means the thing is, if you are taking a cylinder, no, if you are taking a cylinder, what you need to do, I can see a cross loop, just leave it, and rest of the edges you select and delete. So you will get something like this. The same thing happened to me. The same thing. Understood now?
यस सर.
And then yes, and then from here to this, and from here to this. So now everything converted into quads. So these are all quads now. Selecting these two, so that the distance between the vertices are same. Now the topology is correct. We are getting very right kind of topology. Okay. All right. Now what I was doing basically, go to mesh, smooth, and with one subdivision level, now my blocking is complete. My second stage is complete. Now subdivision level, apply. See how beautiful topology we are getting. How the shape is exactly, the topology is like that. So exactly the same kind of topology we are getting. But over here, I want to do something, selecting this, and I am sliding it outer side a little bit. Why? Because I want this circle. I want to retain this circle. Even this one, let's equalize the distance. Perfect. Okay, so I'm getting a very correct topology. Okay, so this area is done. Later on, I will come back and we'll give the detailing. But for now, I'm keeping it like this, and let's do rest of the things, and then I will come back and we'll do the detailing. This is not the correct time for detailing. Okay. Now, if we are making a guitar, then the next thing has to be this one, the neck and the head. And what I feel, the head and the neck can be out of one polygon. Okay, so let us check. it is like this. It is like this. Now tell me, for this, what kind of primitive should I use? What do you think for this? What kind of primitive should I use? Cube, cylinder, cube, cube. Okay, cube. All right, cube. This one. Okay, all right. Uh, let's take a cube. Okay, for this, because this is pretty straightforward, because the entire handle is cubic. So let's take a cube. Okay, so I'm keeping it over here. Guys, just check how I'm using the references. Okay, this is very important. At the initial stage, following the reference can be a little bit tricky for you. So if you want to model the guitar like this, that is also fine. If you want to model it vertically, that is also fine. Remember this, your models always should be on the grid. Okay, not in between the grid, just on the grid. Your model should be. Okay, another thing, I'm just thinking of it. Select it, edit, delete by type history, and then rotate in the x-axis 90 degree on the grid. Now, as a guitar, this model is becoming too big, so let's make it a little smaller. Okay, now I'm getting so much of value over here, right? So select it, once again edit, delete by type history, modify, freeze transformation. So now this area is very clean. So this is the default position of the model. Okay, so now coming to the side view. I made it purposefully so that we can match the reference. It is a little bit easier for us. I have taken a cube, making it a little bit smaller. Keeping it over here. I'm just matching this. Okay. Later on, the fretboard will come over here. This board will come on the top of it. Okay. And what should be proportion? Always we can come back and can rectify the proportion, not a problem. But in this case, what I am doing, all the subdivisions except the height, I'm making it 2. Okay, so that you can see. so that I can match it correctly. Okay, going to the side view. This one should go till the end. Should match this. So it is looking like this so far. And what I'm going to do, this and this should come down. This can go a little bit up. So I made it like this. Okay, guys. And then let us select. Let's select this for now. Let's select these two and extrude. Let's check how much the extrusion can go. So now this is all about the proportion, right? So maybe this much, and this will be straight, definitely. I guess it can be a little bit less. Go to the perspective and check. This is fine. This is fine. Let's make it straight. Check, guys, how this is called blocking. How to get that shape out of this. Now what I'm going to do, once again, let's extrude it. Once again, I'm checking the proportion if it is correct. What I'm thinking, it can be a little more, isn't it? See, I'm trying to match the proportion, nothing else. Just trying
So,
to match the
sir,
proportion. Yes,
sir,
who's that?
what, sir, Sagar,
Sagar. Yeah.
sir, what's if we want to scale it from one side only, example in y direction?
No, sorry, I didn't get you, Sagar. Come once again.
सर मतलब कोई भी प्रिमिटिव के साथ हम लोग को स्केल करना है लेकिन हम लोग स्केल करते हैं तो दोनों साइड से होता है what if we
Sagar,
want from one
just
side
1
only?
minute. Just 1 minute. Yeah. Tell me what are you talking? Any
Sir,
primitive?
primitive,
Hmm.
if we want to scale it from one side only, is it possible?
Yeah, obviously. So I'm taking a cube. I'm taking a cube.
Yes.
I want to scale it only in one side, so I'm scaling it like this.
No, sir, from one side only. It is मतलब सर दोनों साइड से होगा.
Okay, you want from one side only. That is
Yes,
also possible. I'm changing my pivot point.
yes, sir.
Right? You are asking about this.
Yes, yes.
Okay. Now, what I just saw that over here it is very thin, right? So what I'm going to do in that particular area, let's make it narrow. And what I feel, this also should follow this. And the same rotation this also will have. For now, let's keep things simple. Okay, all right. And another thing I can see can be a little more. Okay, all right. Now coming back to this area. Okay, pressing 3, it is looking like this. Guys, I can see a little bit curve over here, a curve over there. So for that, what could be done basically, I needed both the sides, right? So going to mesh tool and taking offset edge loop tool. All right, selecting these two and pushing it a little bit downward. Why I am coming to the side view so that I'm not changing the plane. If you are doing it from the front view, unwillingly you will change the plane. All right, and definitely so far we understood this is a circular shape. So this is a circular shape. Okay, so what next to do? Almost I can see my blocking is done. Almost the handle blocking is done. So what I'm going to do? Okay, another thing. Uh, sorry, I didn't do it. I forgot to do it basically. You know what? This one, this one has to go a little bit outer side. Over here, not too much, but over here it should come a little bit because again from the back it is circular. In the front it is like this, but at the back it is circular. So let's make it a little bit circular. Okay. Similarly, selecting these two and let's make it circular. I guess it can go a little bit more. Okay. And from here also, hmm, I'm not giving too much bend over here because gradually it will be ended like this and it will come out from there. Okay. Now it is looking fine. Now it is fine. Okay. All right. So what next to do? I'm selecting all these edges. Now my job will be just select it and isolate. Previously, we have seen how to isolate it because these are all sharp edges. I can see these two are also very sharp. I'm not sure if this is also very sharp. I guess yes. I can see a sharp edge in this area also. So, sorry. So let's take these two also. Okay. So selected all these border edges. For these also you need to analyze. Like in the model, the sharp edges you can see. Only those things you need to do this. So coming to bevel with two, and go a little bit more. 0.15. Let us check. Okay. Pressing 3. All right. This area still not looking very good. Why so? Because I need one loop over here, another loop over there, just to lock this area, isn't it? Now we know what how to lock things. Now this is looking much better. Okay. Go to the side view. Actually, what I can see, the similar kind of depression is there in this area. So maybe we could have given a little more depression. So now I'm deleting this loop and let's give a little more depression. Okay, I'm keeping it like this. These two, that's basically a plane, right? Now let's give this. All right. So selecting this, okay, these things, this particular area, I'm not smoothing anymore, but for now I'm just pressing 3. Okay, and for this actually the topology was very less, and that is the reason I smoothed it and added division to this area. But in this case, that is not needed. So just check the density, right? It is almost the same. So that is the reason I am not subdividing it anymore. This much is all right. Guys, is fine to you how much I have done? You understood so far? Okay, fine, fine. Let's move on. Now, this fretboard, fretboard I am going to do, but before that, uh, at the base of it, the circular shapes are there. I guess one, two, three rings are there. Uh, all the rings. it's not needed like you should do the modeling of it, but if you want, that can be done and it will look good. So let us see the modeling over here. So what I'm going to do, this will be the first look. A little gap is there, I can see, and inside this I'm going to create three rings. So first ring, and I'm sorry, this ring could be a little bit broad. Let's give one look in between. Actually, I'm thinking to make it more precise, because anyway, otherwise human error will be there. Okay, all right. I have given the shapes, and what I'm going to do over here, anyway, all these are not models, but some are textures. Okay, but over here I am making this in modeling only. So I guess you understood what I'm going to do, right? I selected this and I'm extruding.
सर
Yes.
सर डबल क्लिक करने पर फेसेस सब सेलेक्ट हो जाते हैं, लेकिन वही लोग के फेसेस सेलेक्ट करने के लिए
Sorry.
सर फॉर फेसेस को सिलेक्ट करने के लिए हम लोग डबल क्लिक करते हैं ना एक ही लूप का।
Hmm.
सर डबल
Hmm.
क्लिक करते तो एंटायर ऑब्जेक्ट का फेस सिलेक्ट हो जाता है।
No, no, no. If you are doing loop wise, how just I have done it. No. See, click one, then shift, double click. Click one, shift, double click. Okay. So like this, you can select the. Guys, I guess you understood what I have done, right? Over here, I wanted it. So this is basically a part of detailing, not in blocking. Blocking I already have done it. And the last thing I need to do over here, that I need to show some thickness of this. I guess it is a kind of plywood or something like that. So the thickness has to be there. So I'm selecting the last stage, extrude, extrude. Let's push it inside. How much thickness the in the plywood you are going to show? Okay. Now, if you press 3, this portion is becoming like this. So it is not looking good. So what I'm going to do, I'm selecting this edge and definitely going to bevel it. Increase the fraction. Now it is all right. So we have given the thickness also. All right. I'm just thinking if it can be a little more. Let us check if it can be a little more. This is fine. All right. Now let's create that threadboard. So for that, I'm sorry, Q, I just need to place it over there. Okay. Hmm. You can see this. Up to this much it is, right? Up to this much. From here to there. I guess thickness is almost fine. It could be a little more. That's all. For now, I'm just skipping it over there. Come to the front view and see, guys. Over here, I forgot to lock this area. So over here and over here. All right. I'm just thinking now, like if later on any other loops and will be needed in this area or not. So if needed, then I should not use the vertices. Okay, I think it is not needed. So after this much, and what should be the width of it? The width of this. Okay. Now this one, how much it should go? Up to this much. Up to this much. Till the end. Okay. And what should be the width of it? It should cover this. So I'm going a little bit more. All right. See how I'm using. Okay, in this area they have done a little bit photoshopping. Can you see that? In this area. Okay, not properly visible. Anyway, not a problem. So what I'm feeling, it can go a little bit inside. All right. So this is fine. Now, what else should I do in that area? Okay, guys, just check over here. Over here, now the design is a little bit different. Okay, so actually, what I feel doesn't matter what kind of design or pattern you were making over here. So what I did, uh, actually purposefully, I made it like that, but that is absolutely fine. So that's just a pattern, nothing to do with the music. Okay, now one thing is very important we need to create, and those will be, can you see these white lines? Okay, these white lines that we need to create. Okay, and for that what I'm going to do, okay guys, just tell me, am I forgetting anything in this? Am I forgetting anything? What do you think? Any guess from your observation? Am I forgetting anything? Yes, correct. Bevel. Akash is correct. Absolutely. Yes. Now I am happy that you were getting what I am telling. So let's go back, selecting the edges. Definitely, whatever you have made, make it perfectly and finalize it. It may happen because I am also trying to explain to you. So that is the reason I'm forgetting some areas. So, but yes, when you are working with your file, make sure you are maintaining all these things. Okay, now it is fine. Yes, it is much better. So now those white lines, okay, and those are of metal. So definitely different object. And okay, guys, do you think that this is this freight board is flat? I don't think that is a flat object, but it is a little bit curvy. I feel so, but uh, for now let's keep it flat only, and I'll move forward. Okay, so I'm making this line, and definitely separately, because those are metal objects. So for the material also, that has to be separate. And this is also uh, how much I feel it is not separate. Sorry, it is not straight. It is also a little bit curvy, but over here I'm making it straight only. It will save some time also. It has to be much narrow. And I need to place it properly on it. I think still it is a little bit too thick. Be very careful, guys. Just check how much time I'm taking for the proportion. Not I'm not taking time for the detailing, but for the proportion I'm taking time. Proportion is very important to me. All right. Actually, it will also be a little bit bended like this. Okay. For now, I'm keeping it straight only. I'm not giving too much time for this. Edit mesh, bevel, and fraction definitely. The edges are very circular. These edges, very much circular. Okay. So this is the first one. Let's check out the distance. All right. Absolutely fine. Now what I'm doing, I'm not doing Control D. I'm doing Shift D. Okay. Shift D. Check out the distance. Shift D. and definitely it is becoming smaller, isn't it? So little bit small, not too much, but little bit. Okay. Then again Shift D, automatically I'm going to make it a little more. Okay. Now Shift D, little more. Okay, if the side scaling I'm not doing it right now, it is absolutely fine. Later on, I will see that. That can be done anytime. Just this interval, I have to take care. So again, Shift D, little more, Shift D, little more, Shift D, little more, Shift D. Over there, you can see the interval is becoming more and more, right? So the same thing I'm going to do over here. I don't know. There must be some exact count, but that I'm not following. That also can be done. Then I have to do mathematical calculation. Okay, almost fine. Almost fine. There, the space can be a little bit more. So, what I'm going to do, enter place. Okay, and now I'm selecting all these and mesh and combine. Okay. Now some problems are there. Definitely, it is coming out of that board. Okay. So just selecting this, going to deform, and I'm selecting lattice. Oh, sorry, lattice. Okay, I'm taking it 222. So like this. Now lattice point, selecting these two lattice points. Okay, and you know what? All are done for me perfectly. So selecting this, edit, delete by type, history. All right. So far is like this. Okay, guys. So I'll stop over here for today, and next day I'll move forward with this guitar. So far, you guys understand? Okay, it goes from 21 to 24 frets. Okay, all right. I don't know how many I have created. Definitely, it is not 21. Okay, here I have created 19. So, okay, it could be a little bit by extrusion. Akash, yes, definitely could be done, but don't you feel how I did it? It is much more easier than extrusion. For extrusion, you need to create loops, no? So getting the right kind of interval out of loops will be a little bit difficult. So manually you need to do that. But in this case shift D will be a little bit better because you know already that much distance you covered, so a little bit. So again shift D, you know that much distance you covered, then a little bit, like that. So interval I got it correctly, but in this case loops I guess will be a little bit very tricky. Okay, anyway guys, so now it's your time. You can show me your files and I'll give you feedback. Okay, so we'll share first or related to guitar. If